Welcome to Numismatic Vault, the channel where coins aren't just spare change, they're hidden treasures waiting to be found. In today's video, we're diving deep into the world of rare and valuable state quarters. Some of these coins are worth far more than you'd ever imagine, and the best part, they could be sitting in your pocket or coin jar right now. So get ready, because by the end of this video, you might be looking at your change in a whole new way. Top 1. Today we're stepping back into the year 2000 to uncover the secrets of the Virginia State Quarter. At first glance, this coin might look like just another piece of pocket change, but don't let appearances fool you. The Virginia Quarter is more than just currency, it's a tiny monument to American history, and in certain cases, it can be worth a fortune. So listen carefully, enjoy the journey, and discover why this coin continues to captivate collectors everywhere. The Virginia State Quarter was released as the 10th coin in the United States Mint's legendary 50 State Quarters program. This program, launched in 1999, became one of the most successful collecting movements in U.S. history, inspiring millions of Americans to save coins for the very first time. Virginia, being one of the original 13 colonies, holds a special place in the nation's story, and its quarter design reflects that importance beautifully. Let's dive into the design. On the obverse side, you'll see George Washington's familiar profile, the work of John Flanagan, which has graced the quarter since 1932. But on the reverse side, Virginia's identity shines. The coin honors the founding of Jamestown in 1607, featuring 3 historic ships, the Susan Constant, the Godspeed, and the Discovery. These were the vessels that carried settlers from England to establish the first permanent English settlement in America. Surrounding the ships are inscriptions marking Jamestown 1607 to 2007, paying tribute to nearly 4 centuries of history. It's a design that captures both adventure and resilience, making the Virginia Quarter one of the most detailed and historically rich coins in the entire series. Now, what makes the Virginia State Quarter especially exciting for collectors isn't just its design, but the rarity of certain examples. The U.S. Mint struck hundreds of millions of Virginia quarters, but not all were perfect. Some came out with striking minting errors that today are worth far more than 25 cents. Known varieties include double die errors, where the design appears doubled in areas like the lettering or rigging on the ships. Others were struck off-center, leaving blank areas on the coin. In rarer cases, Virginia quarters were minted on the wrong planchet, creating coins that look strange compared to the standard issue. Each of these mistakes produces a coin that is unique, and collectors absolutely love unique finds. Condition is another key factor. A heavily circulated Virginia quarter is common and usually worth face value. But those preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition are far scarcer. Collectors search tirelessly for examples with sharp details, full luster, and no scratches or marks. Coins graded at the highest levels by professional grading services can reach extraordinary prices, especially if they also contain one of the rare minting errors mentioned earlier. The Virginia Quarter also benefits from its historical connection. Jamestown is not just any site, it represents the beginning of English America, the foundation upon which much of the nation's history was built. Collectors value coins that connect to important events, and the Virginia Quarter fits that description perfectly. By the year 2000, the State Quarter program was already fueling a nationwide collecting craze, which meant people were searching their change more closely than ever before. Still, many of the rarer Virginia quarters slipped through unnoticed, ending up in drawers, jars, or collections where they remain today. The thrill of the hunt is what keeps collectors excited, knowing that a fortune could be hidden in the most ordinary of places. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the value reveal. If you happen to own a Virginia State Quarter from 2000 in pristine, uncirculated condition, or even better, one with a dramatic minting error, its value could reach an astonishing $85,000. Yes, you heard that right, $85,000 for a single Virginia Quarter. So next time you sort through your change, take a second look. You never know if history and fortune are sitting right in your hands. Top 2. We're turning our attention to one of the most fascinating pieces from the 50 State Quarters program, the Vermont Quarter issued in 2001. At first glance, this coin might seem like just another 25-cent piece, but for those who know its story, it represents both history and the possibility of incredible value. So, listen very carefully, enjoy the details, and who knows, you may just discover that a Vermont quarter in your collection could be worth far more than pocket change. Let's start with the background. The Vermont quarter was released as part of the highly successful state quarter program, which began in 1999 and ran for 10 years, celebrating each state's unique history and culture. Vermont, admitted as the 14th state in 1791, chose a design that reflects its natural beauty and historic traditions. The coin is instantly recognizable for its striking image of Camel's Hump Mountain and an iconic maple tree, with sap buckets hanging from its branches. This imagery honors Vermont's strong connection to maple syrup production, a craft deeply tied to its culture and economy. On the obverse side, you'll find the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, a feature that unites all quarters in the series. But the reverse side is what makes this coin stand out. The majestic landscape combined with the state's motto, freedom and unity, captures the essence of Vermont's identity. It's a design that collectors admire not just for its artistry, but also for the rich story it tells about the state. Now, let's talk rarity and value. Millions of Vermont quarters were minted in 2001, so most of them today are worth face value if they're circulated and worn. However, the story changes dramatically when we consider condition and minting errors. Collectors place high value on coins that are preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition. These coins retain their original shine, sharp details, and lack of scratches or wear. Such examples are much harder to find today, more than 2 decades after their release. Even more exciting are the rare error coins that slipped through the minting process. Some Vermont quarters display double die errors, where parts of the design, such as the inscriptions or tree details, appear doubled. Others might show off-center strikes, where the design isn't properly aligned. There have also been instances of coins struck on the wrong metal planchet, creating unusual variations that immediately catch a collector's eye. Each of these errors transforms an ordinary Vermont quarter into something rare and unique, making them highly desirable. The value of a Vermont state quarter depends heavily on both condition and rarity. A heavily circulated coin is still worth just 25 cents, but if you find one in mint state with an error variety, that's where the value skyrockets. Professional grading also plays a role. Coins graded at the highest levels by certified services can demand much higher prices at auction, especially when they combine perfect condition with one of these fascinating errors. Another reason the Vermont quarter holds a special place for collectors is its connection to America's natural heritage. The maple tree and mountain imagery remind us of the landscapes and traditions that define Vermont. Collectors often feel drawn to coins that represent more than money, coins that carry a story, a symbol, and a legacy. That's exactly what makes the Vermont quarter so collectible. So, how much could a rare Vermont quarter be worth today? After exploring its history, its design, and the possibilities of errors and pristine condition, it's time for the big reveal. A Vermont state quarter from 2001 in top condition, especially with a rare error, can reach an astonishing value of $83,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $83,000 for a coin that many people might still overlook in their change jar. This is what makes coin collecting so exciting. You never know when an ordinary-looking coin could turn out to be a life-changing discovery. Top 3. We're focusing on a very special quarter from the 50-state quarters program, the Michigan State Quarter, released in 2004. At first glance, it might look like an ordinary piece of change, but don't be fooled. This coin has a story, a design filled with meaning, and a collector's appeal that could make it worth far more than 25 cents. Listen carefully, enjoy this journey, and let's uncover what makes the Michigan quarter so fascinating. The state quarter series began in 1999, and by 2004 it was in full swing, with millions of Americans actively collecting these coins straight from circulation. Each state had the opportunity to celebrate its history, heritage, and identity, and Michigan's design is a perfect reflection of the state's natural beauty and geography. The coin was officially released in January 2004 to mark Michigan's entry as the 26th state of the Union back in 1837. So, what does this coin look like? On the obverse, you'll see the familiar portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan, which anchors the entire state quarter series. But it's the reverse side where Michigan truly shines. The design features an outline of the state itself along with the Great Lakes, the largest freshwater system on Earth. Inscribed are the words, Great Lakes State, a title Michigan proudly carries due to its unique geography. This imagery not only highlights Michigan's importance but also its connection to one of the world's most significant natural treasures. For collectors, this design is iconic, it's clean, bold, and instantly recognizable, but here's the exciting part, rarity and condition. Millions of Michigan quarters were minted at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, which means that finding one in regular circulated condition isn't difficult. Most of them are still only worth their face value. However, coins in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially those with special qualities or grading, can become very valuable. Collectors place great emphasis on how well a coin has been preserved, and a Michigan quarter that retains all its original luster and sharp detail can sell for a surprising premium. Beyond condition, the real treasures are in the minting errors. These are the little mistakes that happen during production but manage to slip out into circulation. Some Michigan quarters have been discovered with dramatic off-center strikes, double die varieties, or even misaligned designs that make them instantly rare. A few have even been struck on the wrong planchet, creating coins with unusual weights or metal compositions. These errors transform an ordinary Michigan quarter into something extraordinary, and the demand for such pieces among collectors can drive their value sky high. It's also worth noting that proof versions of the Michigan quarter were made for collectors, struck with mirror-like finishes and extra detail. These proofs, especially in silver, add another layer of desirability to the coin. While standard proof coins might not reach extreme prices, rare varieties, errors, or those graded at the very highest levels can still command impressive sums. So why is this coin important for collectors? The Michigan quarter isn't just about its face value, it's about what it represents. It's a symbol of America's love for its states, its natural wonders, and its history. For coin lovers, owning a Michigan quarter is like holding a piece of the Great Lakes in your hand. And when you find one that is rare, flawless, or carries a unique error, you're not just holding history, you're holding something that could be incredibly valuable. And now we come to the moment you've been waiting for, the value reveal. After exploring its story, its design, and its rare qualities, let's answer the big question: how much could a Michigan quarter from 2004 really be worth? If you are lucky enough to own one in mint condition, or even more exciting, one with a rare and desirable error, its value could reach an astonishing $81,000. Yes, that's right, $81,000 for a single Michigan state quarter. So the next time you're sifting through your change or browsing through a collection, keep your eyes open. That shiny quarter in your hand could be more than just a coin, it could be a treasure. Top 4. We're going on a journey to the Pacific Northwest to explore one of the most breathtaking state quarters ever produced, the Oregon State Quarter, released in 2005. This isn't just another 25-cent piece. It's a coin that carries natural beauty, a rich story, and for the lucky few, it can even mean serious money. So listen carefully, enjoy the details, and you might just discover that a small coin in your pocket could be worth far more than you ever imagined. The Oregon Quarter was part of the beloved 50 State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008. Each state was honored with its own special design, and Oregon's was the 33rd to be released. This coin celebrates Oregon's admission into the Union in 1859 and captures the natural wonder that defines the state. It was released in June 2005 and quickly became a favorite among both collectors and the general public. Let's take a look at its design. On the obverse side, you'll see George Washington's portrait, a unifying feature across the entire series. But the reverse side is where Oregon truly stands out. The design features the stunning Crater Lake National Park, one of America's most unique natural landmarks. You can see Wizard Island rising from the center of the lake, framed by cliffs and forest. The detail is breathtaking for such a small canvas, and it instantly became one of the most admired designs in the State Quarter collection. Above the image are the words, Crater Lake, along with the state name and year of statehood. Now let's talk about why this quarter can be so valuable. First, the number of coins minted was large. Millions were struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. That means finding a circulated Oregon quarter isn't difficult at all. However, the real value comes from condition and rarity. Quarters that remain in pristine, uncirculated condition, with their shine and sharp details intact, can already be worth more than face value to collectors, but what really makes some Oregon quarters extraordinary are the minting errors. These are rare mistakes that happen during the production process. For example, some Oregon quarters are known with off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned. Others might have double die errors, creating a doubled image on letters or details of the design. And in rare cases, a coin could even be struck on the wrong metal planchet, giving it an odd weight or appearance. Error coins like these are one-of-a-kind treasures that collectors eagerly chase. Another exciting factor is grading. Professional grading services evaluate coins on a scale, and Oregon quarters that score at the highest levels, often labeled as mint state 68 or higher, can demand significant prices in the market. Combine a top grade with an error variety, and the value can climb even further. The appeal of the Oregon quarter also lies in its connection to the beauty of the American landscape. Crater Lake is one of the deepest and clearest lakes in the world, and by choosing this design, Oregon highlighted its natural heritage. Collectors are drawn not only to the potential value but also to the artistry and symbolism behind the coin. Owning an Oregon quarter is like holding a miniature piece of the state's wilderness in your hand. So, how much could an Oregon quarter from 2005 really be worth today? After considering its rarity, possible minting errors, and condition, the answer may surprise you. If you're lucky enough to own one in pristine, uncirculated condition or one with a rare and desirable error, this small coin could be worth an astonishing $79,000, yes, $79,000 for a single quarter that many people would never think twice about. That's what makes coin collecting so thrilling. You never know when an ordinary piece of change could turn out to be a hidden treasure. Top 5. We are heading to the far north, to the land of glaciers, wilderness, and breathtaking wildlife, the Alaska State Quarter from 2008. At first glance, it may look like just another piece from the 50 State Quarters program, but this coin tells a story of strength, survival, and incredible value. Stay tuned, listen carefully, and you might just realize that this coin could be far more valuable than you ever imagined. The Alaska Quarter was one of the final issues in the State Quarter series, released in August 2008 to celebrate Alaska's admission into the Union as the 49th state back in 1959. By the time it was released, the State Quarter program had already captured the attention of millions of Americans, both casual collectors and serious numismatists. Alaska's design instantly stood out as one of the boldest and most dramatic in the entire series. On the obverse, we see the familiar portrait of George Washington, anchoring the entire program with a sense of continuity. But it's the reverse side that truly grabs attention. The design features a powerful grizzly bear, emerging from the water with a salmon in its jaws. This dramatic scene represents Alaska's untamed wilderness, its abundance of natural resources, and the resilience of its wildlife. Surrounding the bear are inscriptions of the state name, year of statehood, and the motto, "The Great Land," a phrase that perfectly captures Alaska's vast and rugged beauty. The symbolism of this design cannot be overstated. The grizzly bear is a symbol of strength and independence, while the salmon represents both survival and abundance. For collectors, this is one of the most visually striking state quarters ever issued, and it continues to draw admiration years after its release. Now, let's talk about what makes this coin valuable. Like other state quarters, millions of Alaska coins were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, meaning that regular circulated examples are common. If you find one in your pocket, it will usually only be worth face value. But condition changes everything. Coins that remain in pristine, uncirculated condition are far rarer, and those graded at the highest levels by professional services can already fetch impressive prices from collectors who want the very best examples. Even more exciting are the minting errors. Some Alaska quarters display striking mistakes that slip through quality control. Collectors have reported examples with doubled dies, where parts of the design appear doubled, adding a ghost-like effect to the details. Others show off-center strikes or partial designs, which make them stand out instantly. And in rare instances, an Alaska quarter might even be struck on the wrong metal planchet, resulting in unusual weight or color. These error coins are highly prized because each one is unique, and they can send the coin's value soaring. proof versions of the Alaska quarter were also minted for collectors, often in silver, with mirror-like finishes and sharp detail. While standard proof coins don't always reach astronomical values, high-grade examples, or those with unusual qualities can still be very desirable. The combination of bold design, strong symbolism, and the possibility of rare minting errors make the Alaska quarter a true gem for coin collectors. It represents not just money, but a piece of America's northern frontier, immortalized in a small piece of metal. So, how much could this coin be worth? Here's the part you've been waiting for. A United States of America state quarter from Alaska, minted in 2008, in pristine condition or bearing a rare and dramatic error, could reach an astonishing $75,000, yes, $75,000 for a single quarter. That's the thrill of coin collecting. You never know when an ordinary-looking coin could turn out to be a rare treasure worth a fortune. Thank you for joining me today on this exciting journey into the story of the Alaska State Quarter. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins that might be hiding in plain sight, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and always remember, your next coin find could be priceless.